Soundcore just dropped some fire and put everyone on notice. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Today we're checking out the Liberty 3 Pros from Soundcore. This is the white version here, price $170 for these earbuds. These are the next pair in the Soundcore lineup, and if you don't know Soundcore, you better get to know them because they are dropping fire. Every product, they are doing something big, and right now, they just serve notice to every other company in the audio space. $170 for these earbuds that are competing with the higher end earbuds, easily competing, not, getting close, easily competing with $250, $300 earbuds all day long. And Soundcore has been stepping the game up over and over and over again. And the Liberty 3 Pros, they dropped a bomb on this space right now. So we're gonna check them out. The white colorway here, I had to put everything back in the box. I've been using these for like a week and I'm a little late on the review, and I apologize for that, but life sometimes gets in the way. So the Liberty 3 Pro, the white version here, guys. And if you're new to the channel, hit that like. A sub would be appreciated. I try and drop at least three to four videos a week when I can. Liberty 3 Pro Soundcore. Their packaging is always very clean, always very nice. One of my favorites in this space. And shout out to Soundcore, they did send these to me, but not a paid review. You guys will see this before they do. So the branding, the color, the white here, of course, does come in 4 colorways. We also have a black colorway, a gray colorway, and a purple colorway. They always do really nice colors on their products. And I had to put everything back in here because the packaging on here is absolutely beautiful. And on the back, it does tell us a little bit about what we have here. Hear ID, we do have that Soundcore app, of course. The battery life on here, ultimate high-res earphones here. So we do have LDAC for one of your codecs. So if you're on an Android device, you're going to get some good music. Plain and simple. 6 mics, 3 on each earbud. But let's open it up. This is why I packed everything up, because look how beautiful this is. First impressions do go a long way. But when you know in the back of your mind that these things are going to be amazing already, this just takes it up a whole nother level. So the packaging on here, this might be my favorite packaging I've ever seen on a pair of earbuds. Really nice. They left off the tips so you can see the quality of the actual earbuds. The white colorway here, let me hold it up so you guys can see how good that looks. Look how clean everything is on here. It looks very nice. So you can see here, the earbuds, the case, we'll talk about that in a minute, but we get a bunch of extra silicone tips as well as some sleeves on here. So they do provide you with, you want to get the best fit that you possibly can on a pair of earbuds, especially when you have ANC hear through mode. Make sure you get that good seal, guys. It's very important. So we have options here. We all have different size. You might need different options for each ear, just for yourself. So try it out. There is a fit test in the app, so make sure you use that. Very important. Now also we have something to slide out, so USB-A to USB-C to charge, and we'll talk about battery life in a second and go over all of the specs. And in here we also have a bunch of paperwork. How do we sound? More paperwork, the user's manual. No one really cares about that ever, so we're gonna get rid of it, and we're gonna get rid of that too. Now the actual earbuds and the case, the beautiful white case, that sliding top that we all know Soundcore products have. And I'm a big fan of this. I love that. It is very unique to Soundcore and I like it. 3 LED lights here on the front. Each one will probably represent about 33%. Now, battery life on here is really good. It does get up to 8 hours and 32 with the case. Now that is with ANC off. And with ANC on, you're going to get around 6 hours. And if you are rocking LDAC, you're going to get about 4 hours. So just keep that in mind. These do support wireless charging, and they do have a fast charge feature. A 15-minute charge will get you 3 hours of battery life. So I'm going to put these silicone tips on them. And while I do that, let's talk about the rest of the specs on here. Now, specs on the Liberty 3 Pros, we have ANC ambient mode, of course, and we're going to take a look at that inside the app, and we'll talk about how good they are, because they are very good on here. You got Hear ID inside of the app, a bunch of the things inside of the app that make these, well, they give it a little more value. Well, a lot more value, honestly. There's a fit test, and we'll go on and on about the app once we get into the app. Now, your codecs on here, again, these do support LDAC, AAC, and SBC. Battery life, 8 hours, 32 with the case. If you have ANC on, it's going to be about 6 hours. And if you are listening to LDAC as your codec, you're going to get about 4 hours. Now, there is a 15-minute fast charge on here that will give you an extra 3 hours of battery life, which is crazy. Wireless charging, multi-point connect. What more do you want on a pair of earbuds? You can use one at a time. Bluetooth 5.2, price $170. And I repeat that, $170 for all of these features. These are stacked earbuds and can easily compete. I had the Sony's XM4s. I returned them. I'm not getting rid of these. Think about that. I returned the XM4s mostly because of fit, but I prefer the sound quality on these over the Sony XM4s. Now, 10.6 millimeter dynamic drivers, plus there is also a balanced armature driver on here. So you're gonna get that sound. One driver will work with the bass, one driver will work with your highs and mids. So you're gonna get a great sound stage, and overall you're gonna get some fantastic sound. And if you don't like that, you can adjust it inside of the app, and we'll talk about that once we look at the app. Now, these are also IPX4 sweat and water resistant, so feel free to work out in them. Run, do whatever you want, sweat in them. You're going to be fine. Just know that is at the bottom of the scale, right? So don't submerge these in water. Don't get them soaking wet, because they're only, bottom of the scale, IPX4, not the best, but it is something. Now, let's just throw these in. First thing we're going to do, of course, is take a look at the app, and then we'll go from there. All right, now that I have them in my ear, you guys can see the look and the fit. So they don't stick out as much as you would think, right? The Liberty 2 Pros were chunky boys, right? They were big boys. Liberty 3 Pros are a little smaller and a little more clean. I do like these a little better. I do have a fantastic seal with these earbuds. That's one thing I like. You can do the fit test, make sure you get a good seal. And I don't have ANC on right now. I do have transparency mode on. And even with that, I can tell I have such a good seal on here. I really like it. Like the head shake test, they're not going anywhere. Running in them, working out in them is going to be fine. Just know they're not the smallest earbuds, but they are smaller than the Liberty 2 Pros. But you can see for yourself, guys, they're not that bad. They don't stick out too much. But what you're getting, you'll put up with it. You'll put up with it. Now, inside of the app, let's take a look at the app. Connect the Bluetooth first, then go find the Soundcore app. And once you're in the app, you can see the battery percentages up top. Hear ID, ANC. If we click on that Hear ID, it's going to take you over. You have different modes. Now, you're going to do a test at first. I already did the test, so I don't have to worry about that. But after the test, it gives me 3 different levels. High level mode or a comfort mode, and you could adjust the comfort mode with a slider. I like it on high level mode. Just the best for me. You might prefer something different. Now, normal mode means just passive noise cancellation, right? Just the seal in your ear, and that is basically it. Transparency mode on here. You can go in and you have different modes for transparency mode. You have fully transparent. You can focus on vocal mode, which will focus on voices, and your vocal enhancement. So I tend to prefer this one, but again, that's just preference for me. Now, wind noise reduction, I would turn this on if you're outside, right, and in a windy environment. And if you're going to make phone calls, something like that, turn that on, and it should help with the phone calls. Now, this question mark up here, this is where you're going to go. You can go to live chat, contact Soundcore, and just learn about these earbuds. Now, your Hear ID test, this is where it will personalize your sound experience. It's going to go through a test. It's going to give you a left test and a right test for each individual ear. It's going to play different tones, and you're going to have to say if you can hear the tone, if you can't hear the tone. And it does take a few minutes. I have already done it, so I have my Hear ID profile basically ready to go when I listen to music. And you can either pick that, you can pick Soundcore's signature, soundstage, or you can pick, there's a slider with an EQ. You can adjust it and save that setting actually and keep that the way you want it to. So lots of settings when it comes to sound. You can basically tune these really however you want, which is fantastic on a pair of earbuds. Now, the sound effects on here, you got your Hear ID sound. This is your sound profile, right? Then you got custom. You can see it does say on there Slang's zone. That's whenever I want to get into the zone. And you can see here, I'll show you, it's that V-shaped, right? The highs are up, the bass is up, and that's what I like to listen to. And funny enough, my Hear ID sound on here is very similar to that. After I did the test, and I played some music, the Hear ID sound was just what I wanted to hear, right? The 3D surround sound, it's okay, not for me. And the default, you can go and choose your, your custom setting that you want. I have it on hip hop right now because that's what I was listening to, but my Hear ID sound does sound better than all of those. But then I went in and I used custom and I set up my EQ, and I was shocked to see that this sound and the Hear ID sound were very, very close. I mean, very close. Really hard to even tell them apart. So for me, it might not work for you as well as it did for me, but for me, the Hear ID sound did kind of figure me out and give me what I wanted to hear. Very close. I do like my Slang Zone a little better, but it's so close, it's very hard to tell it apart. Now, if we go down your controls, let's talk about touch controls since we are here. Again, fully customizable and fully controllable touch controls with volume control. That's what I need on a pair of earbuds. Look, moving forward with earbuds, I don't want anything else. Like, if you don't give me volume control on a pair of earbuds, and some of the other controls I can do without, but volume control is a must at this point, right? So if you're going to give me an app, I want volume control. It's that simple. And Soundcore does it. They've been doing it, and that's what we have here. So fully customizable touch controls. You can tell the L and the R, and you can see up top. I do like the setup up here. It's a little different than it used to be. Single tap, and if you want to set up your double tap, you can see what I have set up here, and they do work very well. Tap to touch. Hold for 2 seconds. Right now I have it scrolling between ambient mode, A and C, or turning it off. And if you triple tap on your earbuds right now, I have it set for the voice assistant. So the touch controls on here do work really well. And if you click on more settings, this is where you're going to go. And wearing detection, this is in-ear detection. So when music is playing, you can take one out, it will pause, put it back in, and it will play. And you can also take one earbud out, drop it inside of the case, and conserve battery life if you want to do that. Now this is where you can have your ear tip fit test, which I already have done, and I do know I have a good seal. Your voice prompts, you can have it just do a voice or a tone, and your device list, which we already know, dual device connection. This is where you're going to go and turn off or on multi-point right now, and I like it tells you what you're currently paired with. So right now I just have an iPhone. You could pair it to multiple devices, and it does work. I did test it out, and it does work. You can have it turn off to conserve battery life after a certain period of time. Right now it's set for 10 minutes, but it is off, and we'll just leave that alone. And this is where you're going to go and update your firmware. You can see I am updated with the firmware. So the app on here, fantastic. Again, Soundcore, there's only a few companies that really do the app fantastic, and Soundcore is one of them. Soundcore, I could name a few other ones, but we're sticking with Soundcore today. But you guys know, if you follow the channel, you know what I'm talking about. There are some other companies that have fantastic apps. Soundcore is definitely top 2 in my opinion. So now we're going to talk about the ANC and the ambient mode on here. So let's actually go back to the app. Now again, you can do an ANC test on here. You're going to take your device into a loud environment, and there's a decibel meter on the phone, and what it's going to do, it's going to tell you how much decibels. It's going to tell you, it's going to let you know if you're in a good enough room to do this. You need a lot of noise to do this test, and once you do, it's going to kind of tailor your ANC to your ears, and it works very well. Honestly, you guys know I have a ton of mining rigs here at the house. I work with crazy loud equipment, so for me, finding a loud environment is no issue at all. I can hear my mining rigs running in the background right now. You guys probably can't, but I can. Now, ANC on here and hear through, or ambient mode, whatever you want to call it, it's fantastic. Look, for $170, what you're getting with these earbuds is comparable to any other earbud on the market, really. And this is why I said in the beginning, Soundcore just put everybody on notice. They did. The ANC on here is comparable with the AirPod Pros. The hear-through mode is really good. Now, the hear-through mode, you do have a bunch of different options on here. So fully transparent, vocal, and you can get it to focus on voices if you want. But the hear-through mode and the ANC on here are fantastic. They really are that good, right? They're not top, right? I'm not sitting here saying they're number one, like they've taken over. They're not. They're not the best. But when we're on a scale of 1 to 10, if the best is a 10, these are a 9. That's how close they are to competing with the big boys. Like, we are right there neck and neck. And when you value bang for buck, right, that's what we're talking about with these at $170 versus the earbuds that have the best ANC at $300 or higher. These are a much better value, in my opinion. And I would take these if somebody offered me side by side, say the Sony XM4s, and say the Sony XM4s fit me. You guys know I had a fit problem with the XM4s. If somebody offered these earbuds here and the Sony side by side and said you could have one of these for free, what would you take? I'm taking these all day long. All day long. These sound better, in my opinion, than the XM4s. It's a no-brainer for me. No-brainer. Now, so the ANC, really good. The transparency mode or ambient mode, whatever you want to call it, really good. Let's talk about the sound quality on these earbuds. So again, inside of here, you have all these things that we talked about. So Hear ID sound, you can custom EQ it for whatever sound you want, right? You can bring up the highs, bring up the mids, bring up the bass, whatever you want. Soundcore does have their default, sounds, or their default sound profiles, I should say, that you can go and click on. I do prefer my Hear ID sound or the custom one that I have, but they have their signature sound, which is pretty good as well. And if you click on this little arrow here, you can go in and you can see, and it does give you the EQ setup for each one. So you can see when I click on it, the EQ setup up top will give you an idea of what you are actually doing with the highs, the mids, and the lows. So very cool. But sound quality on these are fantastic. There is some crazy bass. It's punchy, it's clean, it doesn't muddy up anything. The highs and the mids, you can basically bring what you want out of those, and these sound fantastic. They really do sound good. Soundcore just dropped a bomb. They dropped a bomb with this pair of earbuds. Really impressive for the price, right? You could have charged easily $200 for these earbuds, easily. And you can sit here and justify that price point all day long. So sound quality is fantastic. ANC, ambient mode on here is really good. Now, as far as delay and latency on these earbuds, I really haven't noticed any. Like, no problems playing games, Call of Duty, nothing when it comes to delay between audio and video. So feel free to watch content, watch movies, whatever you want. Even light gaming is no issue at all. Every now and then you might experience a little delay, and I'm only saying that as like a caution because I haven't experienced any delay between audio and video, even playing Call of Duty on my phone, which I do not. I'm not a gamer on my phone. Just be aware of that. I'm not. I just test it with the earbuds for 15 minutes max, just to be very transparent here. But 15 minutes of Call of Duty, I really didn't notice any delay, but I am not a gamer by any means when using earbuds and a phone. It's just not my thing, but I did test it and it seems fine. So just be aware, it seems fine. All right, let's do a mic test. The Liberty 3 Pros, this is the mic and the call quality that you are going to get if you're on a phone call. And this will give you an idea of what it sounds like if you are taking a call. There's also a wind noise filter inside of the app that you can turn on and off to give you a little bit of a better sound. I tried it out. I didn't really notice any difference, but you might notice a difference. Let me know if you do try it out. But what do you think of the mic? Drop a comment and let me know. All right, guys, this is a crowded room, a noisy environment here. This is the call quality on the Liberty 3 Pros if you're in a loud room. Let me know. Drop some comments. Let me know what you think. All right, guys, the Liberty 3 Pros. So, look, these things are feature-packed, right? You get the codecs that you want, right? High res with LDAC. You get AAC, SBC. Battery life on here is good. Gets a little worse with ANC on, and even a little worse if you have LDAC. And sound quality, the app, fantastic. We know, we've been here before. Soundcore's app is legit, one of the best. The custom EQ, the custom setups, the sound profiles in there. It allows you to just change and kind of configure these how you want them to. The Hear ID, which worked for me really well. Might not work the same for you, but for me it worked really well. The app is fantastic. The sound quality on here, fantastic. The ANC and the ambient mode on here, or hear through mode, whatever you want to call it, different levels of each, right? You can configure them. You can give them a test inside of the app. Really good. They can compete with the best, the big boys. They don't compare, but they're competing, right? There's a difference. They're not there yet. They're not the top, but man, they are knocking on the door. They're right outside, and they are knocking on the door saying, they're not even asking, let me in. They're going to kick that door down soon. So really good with these earbuds. You know, wireless charging, the fast charge on here, one at a time, multi-point connection, guys. Look, these are a fantastic pair of earbuds. The colorways on there, I like the white color. It's a matte finish on here. The other colors, I don't have them, but they do look really good in my opinion. So different options are always a good thing. But that's it. The Liberty 3 Pros, guys. And price on here. Now, there is on Soundcore's website, I believe you can get 20 bucks off, but it's only going to last for a few days. So you can't jump on these right now. I am a little late, so there's plenty of videos already on here with those codes, with the links. Check them out, guys. The Liberty 3 Pros, fantastic pair of earbuds. Another banger from Soundcore, but that's it. Hit that like. A sub would be appreciated. I'll be back soon. Peace.